Okay, the first bit is a newsflash. The second one is the Msnn announcement. So the first thing is Ed Miliband has been revealed for child trafficking. Keir Starmer, Gordon Brown, Tony Blair, everyone I said. But it's important with the Ed Miliband thing because it confirms what I said about him and Keir Starmer being caught, being recorded on video abusing the trans kids and girls by Kevin Spacey. And it was around the same time, I believe, but don't quote me on it, it was around the same time as Ghislaine Maxwell and Kevin Spacey were photographed sitting in the Queen and Prince Philip's thrones. But I could be wrong. But I know it was when they were in the World Economic Forum Future Leaders of the Future program. But now that he's officially been named, it proved I was right. It also proves that, see, this whole net zero thing, it's how they've been hiding all the stolen wealth. So, you know, how they've been fleecing Great Britain dry with all the excuses under the sun with different taxes and raising all of this and raising all of that and then pretending to give all that money to Ukraine. It's because they were hiding it under net zero, but they were also funding the war to take money from the war so that they could hide it. Because remember when they tried to pull off Project Noah's Ark with the floods and, you know, all their nearest and dearest and all of that hiding in the underground cities to wait it all out, they need money. So they're hiding it all. So the wars and everything, it's all been an excuse to take money from the taxpayers, to take the gold, to take the silver, to wipe people out with the Bitcoin, to take all of their money and that so that when they go underground, they've got money. They could start again. And then, of course, going digital, they'll never go digital, just like none of them were had to take the vaccines. Because remember, they were all exempt from taking the vaccines. So then wipe everyone out with the Bitcoin, go digital, so then they can stop people having access to the money, so they can steal it all, so that when they go into the underground cities, they've got the money. And that's what it's all been about. And the fact that Ed Miliband has now been named in these Epstein files with Keir Starmer and Gordon Brown and that for child trafficking, it proves everything I was saying right. I was right about everything. It was the Queen's codes that said about them hiding the money underground and in shell companies and behind net zero. And they completely fleeced the king. They lied to the king about net zero, climate change, everything, all an excuse to kill everyone off, steal the wealth, hide underground. Because remember when I said, when I do my connecting the dots investigations and I said, see when people go missing and they vanish off the face of the earth, the first thing you want to do is look to see if there's underground tunnels, because they take them underground. And I know this as well because back in the day, in my WordPress days when I was working on those codes, it was the kids that were telling me that people like Seth Green had rooms in there under their house where they kept them. And then it all came out about Seth Green, and then it all died down, and then that's when they all started coming after me, because I was seeing a lot. And I was seeing too much, and I was blowing the whistle, so they had to shut me down. But yeah, the fact that Ed Miliband has been named now for child trafficking, that whole Bella One thing, like I was right about everything. So Ed Miliband and Keir Starmer and Labour and everyone behind the net zero, you know, EU, climate change, all that, it's all been a lie so that they can get the money and prop themselves up for when they cause all the floods. Any country that's been having floods, they're out to get you. Any country where fires have been started, they're out to get you. That's all part of the plan. They want to kill off all the vegetation so that you can't grow your food, because they want it all for themselves to take underground. And then, you know, leave everyone to starve and to drown and all of that, so that when there's no one left, they can come back up from underground. And that's where all the net zero money's been going. It's what the Queen said in the codes. They're hiding the money under shell companies like net zero climate change ones, and they're hiding the money under other companies underground, she said. Because I remember when I was talking about what the earthquakes really were. And it was the Queen that said underground, underground, underground. I kept saying underground, underground, hidden under things. And it all goes back to my blog when I was seeing these celebrities. Remember years ago, all those houses caught fire. And there were a lot of like Hollywood celebrities and that where their houses caught fire. I've got it on my X. I've still got the screenshots and everything from when I said it. That's when I was whistleblowing and naming the names of all the celebrities who were doing bad things to children. And I was saying they've got like underground. Remember Diddy, how he's got the underground tunnels and the underground slave chambers and that? There's a lot of them that did. And when I started whistleblowing, all these fires broke out. Miley Cyrus lost her house. I remember Drew Barrymore lost one of hers. Like all the people I was naming in the list, their houses just like, this was like in about, it was somewhere between 2016, 2018, I believe. Remember there were the fires in California and all those celebrities lost their houses, but like the trees weren't touched, like it was a really weird fire. Yeah, it's because they were burning evidence. As soon as I started naming names, evidence got burnt to the ground and then they shut everything down and came after me. But like the fire in Maui, the fire in, they just had in, was it Central America or South America? And it's Elon Musk, his lasers from space. He admitted he has lasers in space. The solar panels help. You know, the net zero, oh, got to put solar panels everywhere? The solar panels help with the lasers in space that cause the fires. The fire in Australia that burnt, like, remember the fire in Australia? It was devastating. It was all done on purpose by the lasers in space. Because they want to kill everything off and then go underground to leave us to die, basically. But in order to pull it off, they have to lie and say that, oh, it's climate change and rising sea levels, but it's not. It's all them. And now, you know, like this, everything I've been saying is true. And now that Ed Miliband's been named, it's only a matter of time before we start seeing snippets of that video. Now that we know that Keir Starmer dresses in drag, and we know for a fact that Tony Blair does, if I get cut off, you know I'm right. Because Tony Blair was arrested in drag. He's actually was arrested dressed in drag in a men's toilet soliciting for the Shrek Shrills. And now Keir Starmer as well, and it was trans kids that Ed Miliband and Starmer were abusing, so now we're going to see snippets of that coming out. Everything that people are posting on X is being flagged as AI. Every single thing. How disgusting and despicable is that, that people are covering up child abuse under the guise of AI? Grok is the biggest lying piece of shit in the world. It's trash. All it does is cover up crimes for evil people. And people are starting to cotton on to it now. So I'm glad that France is going after Elon Musk and Grok. I'm glad. I've been a victim of what Grok has done. I've been a victim of Elon Musk and what his digital bullshit does. And so, yeah, I can't wait for him to, he's going to crash and burn real hard. I can't wait. He's, anybody who is still standing by Donald Trump and Elon Musk's side deserve to go down when they go down. Just like with my ex and my husband and all that, anyone who defended them and Rocio and Courtney and all of that, you all deserve to burn in hell. Because it's not your children getting abused. So, although I do believe I've said it before and I'll say it again, they were trying to groom Thomas. It's on police record, it's on the record at the hospital. Starmer coming in with the puberty blockers, doing the trial studies and that, it's all been part of the plan. Because the thing is as well, it makes you infertile. And COVID makes you infertile, and COVID gives you, the vaccines gives you HIV. Remember when Keir Starmer said, I took an AIDS test? It's because the news was starting to come out that the COVID vaccine gives you HIV. And they don't want people having babies. There's new STDs coming out that I'd never even heard of because of the vaccines. Brand new STDs that are coming out. There's an STD where if the man has been vaccinated, he can give the woman cervical cancer having the Shrek. So I can't ever be with anyone who's been vaccinated. My kids will never be able to be it's going to have to be the thing in the future now where before you get married, instead of having blood tests to see if you're related, you're going to have blood tests to see if you've been vaccinated. Otherwise, the vaccinated will kill the unvaccinated because they want to control the breeding population. Because when they go underground, they don't want any of us surviving by having other babies and, re-evolving, having to go through a new stage of evolution. But it's all been exposed. Everything I said. People said I was nuts because the stuff I was saying was like something out of sci-fi, like something out of a movie. But it's not. It's because I sit in the creation frequency. I'm God's messenger. He tells me everything to show. He tells me everything to say and shows me everything that I'm told what I see. At great risk to myself. But I still do it because I follow orders. And not the Nazi, I was told I was just following orders, British police. Not that. Like when God tells you to do something, you don't say no. God told Vladimir Putin not to go near Donald Trump, but he didn't listen, so let's see what happens there. I don't know, I've been thinking about that. What's going to happen with the prophecy? Is there going to be a New Jerusalem somewhere else? Because God will never allow the second coming of Christ when Lucifer's on his doorstep. So I don't know. I keep thinking, but it's none of my business because it's not my job. It's not my job anymore now. Cut away to that. Speaking of jobs, I know I'm getting ready to leave now. I can feel it with every fibre of my being. The more that's coming out, the more money I get in my court case, which is brilliant. So I'm going to start advertising very soon for a co-host. I want someone who's willing to basically give up everything to come on the road with me and travel the world so that I can make my shows, so that we can do our podcast together. I want someone to bounce my I want someone to bounce my conversation off. I want, like Ant and Dec or Dermot and Allison, or not, you know what I mean, like Holly and Philip, like that. But obviously not. I love Dermot and Allison though. I don't have a TV, but I remember what they were like, and they were funny. But I'm looking for a co-host, and he needs to be somebody who's prepared to. He's going to have a passport. He's going to need to know how to drive. He's going to have to be like interested in traveling the world. He'll be paid, and we'll do radio and TV together. I want someone who will come with me when I do my adventures. My supernatural paranormal investigations, that sort of thing, and do our podcast together. And like when I have to come out on stage and do things, he'll be there with me because I'm going to be really nervous. And when I get nervous, I stutter and I make stupid jokes and that. So I need someone to bounce off. I'm looking for someone between the age of, say, 30 and 45. 30, someone between the age of maybe 30 and 45 at the oldest. If you're a young 45, that's fine. Someone who wants to see the world, someone who's up for anything. He's got to have a sense of humour. He has to have a sense of humour. I don't care about skin colour. I don't care about religion. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is that you're open-minded, that you have a sense of humour, and no judging, and be up for anything. Be open-minded about learning about the supernatural and paranormal and that, and be prepared for the fact that I might cry a lot. Like, he needs to be sympathetic and compassionate. He's got to have a heart, because he has to understand that in some of these cases that we investigate, it's going to involve like child murder, sacrifice, like, for example, investigating the Black Annis up around here. That's what I call Elon Musk, the Black Annis, because the Black Annis lived in a cave in the mountain with a tunnel that led to the king's castle, and she used to take kids off the street. Like, she used to take kids and skin them and wear their skins and stuff, which is, Illuminati. This was like was it the 17th, 18th century, I believe. I've got it on my thing. But we'll be going all around the world. He needs to be up for staying in a lot of hotels, being in camper vans. We'll have to work with a small film crew, because I just want some camera people, sound, editing and that. But Gabriel wanted to learn how to do the sound and editing, so I was going to pay him to like edit the videos together, because it's a great way for him to learn how to do it, because he really wanted to learn it, and he's learning it now and he's really good at it too. But I'd pay him it'll be his first job for the company. Thomas is going to come up with all like the soundtracks and theme music and all of that. So I'm going to be looking for a couple of cameramen, a sound engineer, someone to do like my hair and makeup, and yeah, I'm going to need an assistant. So I need a co-host, because in the very least, my co-host and I can, even just with my phone, because I was doing it with my phone anyway, we can hit the road and still do it before I gather everyone together. But I will be putting it out there. I'm looking for a co-host. He's got to have a sense of humour. He's got to have a heart. He's got to care about what I'm doing, because everything that I'm doing eventually leads to us building safe houses for those kids. If he can sing or act, and he wants to be a part of Enter Black or anything like that, he'd be welcome to come along. But I'm looking for a co-host. I'm going to start advertising, and then when I get justice, we can talk about contracts and salaries. But the must is that he needs to have a sense of humour. He has to have a heart. He's got to be open-minded. He's got to be up for fun. He's got to be into the paranormal and supernatural. Don't care about religion or skin colour or anything like that, just non-judgmental. And he's got to be okay with the fact that sometimes I'm going to cry and I might need a hug or support. Because he's not going to see what I see. And if he does see what I see, then it means that he's opening up as well. So, he's got to be okay with things like death and murders and the paranormal and the supernatural, and, because we'll be going to a lot of hot spots, but all around the world. Because I want to go to like Japan and Australia, New Zealand, all over the Americas. Like, there's so many places that I want to investigate. My boys and I have made an entire list of places to go. I want to go to the concentration camps in Germany. That's going to be really, really hard for me, because I know what I'm going to see, and it's one of those things that The boys and I spent many discussions around the breakfast table. That's one investigation that's going to be really hard for me, but it needs to be done because I can cleanse it. And Germany's going to be right next to where I'm living, so I'll be able to do it while I'm in Switzerland. But it's them and the killing fields are the two places I'm not looking forward to going to. But it has to be done, because then I can take my tane clay and my rehua spray and I can cleanse the areas and release anything that might be stuck there, because they're the kind of hot spots where souls will be trapped. I'm dreading going to the concentration camps, because I know, like Auschwitz and all that, because I know what I'm going to see, and I'm bracing myself. So my co-host is going to have to be someone who's prepared to let me sit quietly and cry, let me hug, sit up against a tree and talk to the tree, or like if I need a hug, or, I might be putting my head in his lap to cry myself to sleep and stuff. He has to be okay with that. It doesn't matter how macho he is. He has to be okay with the fact that, remember that dream I had where I was being thrown in the party and that man was sitting and he was kissing my scars and he was proud of my scars. Like I was trying to hide them because I was embarrassed. I didn't want him to see that I had these scars all over my body from fighting the Holy War, but he was kissing them and rubbing them and, trying to soothe my stomach and that, because he knew why I got them and he was proud of me for it. That's what I need. I need that in a co-host. He's going to let me cry because he knows I'm seeing things that that are the reason why I got those scars, because I'm building an empire to raise awareness, to give a voice to the dead, to give a voice to the ones that didn't survive the dictatorships and the Illuminati. And in my movie Unorthodox, the Msnn is based on the Manangle and the Blackhannis. I merged the two names together, and the Manangle was a Filipino witch that used to steal the babies from mothers' stomachs and stuff, and they were told it was, because she was this evil witch, but obviously, they play on your culture and stuff, because it was all to do with the Illuminati. So I created like this evil character in Unorthodox. So, yeah. But a lot of these things are based on real mythologies and real cases. So he needs to be okay with that, especially if I get to talk to parents or people who witness things or people who call for my help. I'm really hoping that when I put my shows up and that, people will contact me and say, hey, I heard you're in Germany, can you come and look at this? Or I heard you're going to be in Japan, can you come to my house and look at this? Like oh, yes, please. So he needs to be okay with that. And obviously he'll get paid. If he can actually work cameras or anything like that, and it means I don't have to actually, I was going to say get another cameraman, but he has to, because I'm not necessarily going to be on camera as well. If he's got other skills that he can bring to the table that he knows would be useful, then obviously he'd make more money. If there's skills that my sons want to learn as well, or he can bring anything to the table that my sons are also interested in, like, because we're going to need to work drones, we're going to need drones, because there's places like when we went to Fountains Abbey and that where we couldn't see where I would be needing to put the clay and all of that, because some of the clay would need to be put on tops of roofs, and also not knowing what's on the other side of fences and tree lines and that, we don't want to go walking into trouble, so send the drones in. So yeah, my boys need to know how to work drones and crossbows, because I'll need to fire some of my tane clay up on roofs and that, where we'll need to send them up with crossbows. I just bought my first test crossbow before I got locked up. So yeah. So I'm looking for a co-host. I can feel it with every fibre of my being. I'll start advertising as soon as well, I kind of really want to start meeting people now, so that by the time I get my justice, I can then get the contract written up and the person's already there. Because we can still do podcasts and stuff together, even being in different houses, different countries, different parts of the world. Anyway, so there you go. So I was right about everything, and I'm looking for a co-host. I've talked about the co-host before. He needs to have a driver's license. He needs to be prepared to give up his life and come travel and have a great adventure with me and my boys while I'm building this school in the background. And then he can be one of the judges when I hit the road to look for kids and talent. He can be one of the judges. It'll be me, him, and Thomas, and then we'll try and find another judge. Someone in the industry. Movie, music, comic book, video game, someone in the industry. So, yeah, it'll be exciting. So, there we go. Everything's in the description box. So now that Ed Miliband's been named, watch out for Yvette Cooper and Ed Balls, because they're in it too. And von der Leyen's in it as well. Klaus Schwab's been named, so just wait for Yvette Cooper and Ed Balls, because they're on the Epstein list, and then it'll be Jacinda Ardern. It's all coming out. So there we go. David Lammy, I think's on it too, if I remember rightly. I shall speak to you later. Looking for a co-host. Ka kite ano?